What if I told you that the most essential resource for your survival is quietly being taken away from you? Think about it. You turn on your tap, and you expect clean, safe, life-giving water. But the reality is far more terrifying. Recent studies have shown that our municipal water supplies are increasingly contaminated with microplastics, heavy metals like lead, and a cocktail of industrial chemicals that basic filtration simply cannot remove. You need to click the link in the YouTube description or the first pinned comment right now. And that's if the water is even flowing. With climate change accelerating, historic droughts are becoming the new normal. Water restrictions are tightening. And the cost? The price of bottled water and municipal water rates have skyrocketed by over 40% in the last 5 years alone. We are completely, utterly dependent on a fragile, failing system. A system that is cracking under pressure. You feel it, don't you? That subtle, underlying anxiety when you hear about another boil water advisory in a neighboring town. That frustration when you haul heavy, expensive plastic bottles of water from the grocery store, knowing you are contributing to the very environmental collapse that is causing the problem in the first place. You are being forced to choose between your health and your wallet. And honestly, it is a rigged game. But what if you didn't have to play by their rules anymore? What if the solution to unlimited, pure, clean drinking water wasn't hidden in a distant mountain spring, but was floating invisibly in the air all around you, right now, in your own home? Stick with me, because what I am about to share with you is going to completely change how you view your independence, your health, and your future. Let me be completely real with you for a second. I used to be exactly where you might be right now. A few years ago, my hometown hit a severe, months-long drought. The local reservoir dropped to critically low levels. Overnight, the city implemented strict water rationing. I remember standing in my kitchen, listening to the relentless ticking of my water meter, feeling a knot form in my stomach. Every time I ran the dishwasher, every time I took a shower, I felt a pang of guilt. And then came the letter in the mail. My water bill had doubled. But the money wasn't even the worst part. A week later, a boil water advisory was issued due to aging pipe infrastructure failing under the stress. I stood at my sink, smelling the overpowering, chemical stench of chlorine mixed with a faint, metallic tang of rust. I looked at my young niece, who was asking for a glass of water, and I hesitated. I literally could not trust the water coming out of my own walls. I ended up spending hundreds of dollars that month on bottled water. My garage was stacked floor to ceiling with heavy, sweaty plastic cases. I felt trapped. I felt helpless. I felt like a victim of a system I had no control over. I know that feeling. The feeling of being squeezed from all sides. The feeling that no matter how hard you try to do the right thing, the world is designed to make it difficult and expensive. But that moment of helplessness was actually a blessing in disguise. It forced me to stop accepting the status quo. It forced me to start looking for a real, permanent solution. Not a temporary band-aid, but a way to truly take back control. And after months of dead ends, expensive failures, and talking to off-grid experts, I finally stumbled upon something that sounded almost too good to be true. But it wasn't. It was the real deal. That discovery is called the water freedom system. Now, before you roll your eyes and think this is some complicated, sci-fi, off-grid contraption that requires an engineering degree, let me stop you right there. The water freedom system is not a magic box. It is a brilliantly simple, step-by-step DIY blueprint. It teaches everyday people, with basic handyman skills, how to build a compact, highly efficient device that pulls moisture directly from the air and condenses it into pure, clean, drinkable water. Think of it like this: you know how a cold glass of ice water sweats on a hot summer day? That's condensation. Warm air holds invisible water vapor. When that air hits a cold surface, the vapor turns back into liquid water. The water freedom system takes this basic principle of nature and supercharges it. It is inspired by the Namib desert beetle, an insect that survives in one of the driest places on Earth by harvesting fog and dew on its own back. Visual, split screen. On the left, a close-up of the Namib desert beetle collecting dew. On the right, a clean, easy-to-understand 3D schematic of the water freedom device, showing air flowing in and pure water dripping out. The number one biggest benefit this brings to your daily life? Absolute, unshakable peace of mind. Imagine never having to worry about a boil water advisory again. Imagine your drinking water being completely free of municipal chlorine, fluoride, lead, and microplastics. Imagine slashing your grocery budget by never buying another case of plastic bottled water. You are no longer at the mercy of the city grid, failing infrastructure, or corporate price gouging. You are generating your own life-giving resource, right in your garage, your basement, or your backyard, for pennies a gallon. It is the ultimate form of self-reliance. So, how does it actually work? Let's break it down, because understanding the why makes all the difference. The blueprint guides you through building three main components. First, there is the air intake and cooling chamber. The device uses a small, highly efficient, low-wattage fan to draw ambient air into the system. Inside, there is a specialized cooling mechanism. You don't need industrial refrigerants. The guide shows you how to use safe, accessible materials to rapidly drop the temperature of the incoming air. Second, and this is the heart of the system, are the condensation coils. As the warm, moisture-heavy air hits these chilled coils, the water vapor instantly condenses into liquid droplets. The blueprint provides the exact dimensions and spacing for these coils to maximize surface area, ensuring you capture every single drop of moisture possible. Visual, a high-quality 3D animation zooms into the coils. We see invisible blue vapor hitting the cold metal and transforming into heavy, clear water droplets that slide down into a collection trough. Third, there is the collection and filtration stage. Gravity does the heavy lifting here, pulling the condensed water down into a food-grade storage tank. The system also includes a simple, final stage filtration step using activated carbon, which polishes the water, ensuring it tastes crisp, clean, and refreshing, just like premium bottled water. The beauty of this system is its accessibility. The guide includes a comprehensive, hyperlinked shopping list. You can source 95% of these parts from your local hardware store or a quick online order. No specialized tools. No welding. Just basic assembly, like putting together a high-end piece of furniture, but with a life-saving payoff. Now, I know there are a lot of DIY water generator videos on YouTube. And most of them are garbage. They promise the world but yield a pathetic cup of water a day. But here is the secret teaser that makes the water freedom system completely different from anything else on the market. When I was digging deep into the creator's notes, I discovered a proprietary design element they almost didn't include in the public blueprint. It's called the multi-stage thermal loop. Standard DIY plans just use a single cooling pass. But this hidden feature routes the air through a secondary, pre-cooling chamber before it even hits the main condensation coils. This drastically lowers the energy required and, more importantly, it increases the water yield by up to 300% compared to basic designs. The creators debated leaving this out to keep the system as simple as possible, but they realized that without it, people in moderately dry climates wouldn't get the results they needed. So, they included it. And the results speak for themselves. Take the case of the Henderson family in Southern California. During the peak of the historic drought, with strict outdoor watering bans and skyrocketing utility rates, they built this system over a single weekend. Within a month, they were generating over 60 gallons of pure drinking and cooking water per week. They completely eliminated their bottled water budget, and more importantly, they slept soundly at night knowing that no matter what happened to the city grid, their family would never go thirsty. That is not a theory. That is a proven, real-world result. Alright, let me be completely transparent with you. I am not here to sell you a fantasy. Like any product, the water freedom system has its strengths and its limitations. Let's look at the facts. The pros. Ultimate independence. You are no longer reliant on municipal water quality or supply chains. Massive long-term savings. After the initial build cost, you are generating water for pennies, completely offsetting the cost of bottled water. Eco-friendly, you are actively removing hundreds of single-use plastic bottles from landfills every year. Beginner-friendly, the step-by-step, picture-rich guide makes it achievable for anyone with basic tool knowledge. The cons, the reality. It requires your time. This is a DIY project. It is not a pre-assembled machine that arrives at your door. You need to dedicate a weekend to building it. It uses electricity. While it is highly energy efficient, it does plug into a standard outlet. It is not a zero-energy, perpetual motion machine. Humidity dependence. Like all condensation systems, it works best in moderate to high humidity. However, thanks to that multi-stage thermal loop I mentioned, it still performs remarkably well in drier climates, just at a slightly reduced yield. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is this a scam? Absolutely not. The science of condensation and atmospheric water generation is well documented and used by the military and high-end off-grid communities worldwide. This blueprint simply democratizes that technology for the average person. Is it too expensive? The blueprint itself costs less than a single tank of gas. The parts to build it are a fraction of the cost of a commercial atmospheric water generator, which can cost thousands of dollars. So, what is my final verdict? If you value your health, your family's safety, and your financial independence, the Water Freedom System is an absolute no-brainer. It is a small, one-time investment that pays for itself in saved bottled water costs within months, while giving you something money can't buy, total peace of mind. But here is the catch, and you need to listen closely. Because this blueprint is so effective, the creators are fiercely protective of it. They do not want large corporations copying their multi-stage thermal loop design. Therefore, they strictly limit the number of people who can access the official website at any given time. The page is frequently taken down for server maintenance or when they hit their daily access cap. Furthermore, the special Fast Action Bonus Bundle, which includes a guide on off-grid water storage and purification, is only available right now and will be removed at midnight. Do not wait until the next drought hits. Do not wait until the next boil water advisory leaves you scrambling at the grocery store. Take control of your family's future today. You need to click the link in the YouTube description or the first pinned comment right now. Do not let this page load and then get distracted. Click the link, secure your lifetime access to the Water Freedom System blueprint, and claim your bonuses before the window closes. Thank you so much for watching. Stay hydrated, stay prepared, and I will see you on the inside.